What's up, good people, and welcome back for another recap review show here at Big Gold Belt Media as we are getting ready to jump into episode 3 of Power Book 4 Force Season 2. This episode is titled War and Ice Cream, directed by the shooter, Cierra Gluade, and written by Terri Kopp. Got a chance to speak to Cierra, although there is a strike, and we have talked about each and every episode with the writers and actors. Directors are available, so we did get a chance to talk to Cierra about the very pivotal, the very iconic in every season, the episode 3, which this one's a banger. We got so much to talk about. Lucas and I are here to break it all down. And y'all already know, if y'all watching this right now, stay tuned because Sunday night we go live to interact with you all, where we talk about the 3 biggest topics, discussions, blame it, whatever it is, the trendy moments of this episode, the to-be moments that y'all have exposed. We break that off to you live on Sunday night. But here we're breaking that whole thing down, every bit of it. So without further ado, I want to ask you something real quick. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. Little K's grandma. Talk about this character. Just like her. Shall I say her visibility in Little K's situation? You know, I think there's something to be made with this character. And no, I don't think this is the character we're gonna see around any longer after this episode. But I just feel like this character, like the character rubbed me in a way like I've seen this type of character before.
Oh, you see this woman in the hood every day, all day. This nosy ass grandma who will protect her grandson and act like she's oblivious to the point that he murdered a kid. And she's still up here, I'm gonna protect my baby at all costs. Like, we know in the hood, we know this black grandmother. She exists everywhere. Every block has a black grandmother that is this way. That's what it felt. It felt so funny, just how overprotective she was of him. I mean, down to bringing the cookies out and saying, "If you kill my grandson, you're gonna have to deal with me." One, it showed just how big of a punk Jenard was, because anyone else would have said, "Oh, okay." I'm gonna kill you first. Like, shit. Like, the fuck you think because you got cookies, I'm gonna be nice to you? Like, no, I'm gonna put a bullet right between you and these cookies, and then I'm gonna kill him. But it's weird. In this episode, her voice still was needed because you needed someone to stick up for this dude. To say, like, nah, we're not doing this. The way she stuck up with him with the cops. The way she made sure, like, hey, you're not railroading my grandson. We know you don't protect black boys. Like, stop telling those lies to me. To the way she protected him with Jenard. Like, black grandmothers will step in front of anything for their kids, their grandkids. They don't care what it is. Yeah. They swear but down they Superman. You would think they were bulletproof. They couldn't die. All of that.
I enjoyed that. I wanted to start off talking about, super mom, super grandma, super G mom. And there was a character in Raising Kanan that was similar to this. I believe it was an auntie, though, when Marvin was looking for that person and he went to the house, and I think the auntie or somebody was like, he's not here, and was kind of protective of him. The person that Rock eventually ended up, I can't even think of the character's name right now. But very similar. But yeah, it's always cool to see characters like this. And I'm just gonna say to the actor,
we all know these characters. We all know
exactly. They're yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Got a couple of them in my family, so I know. Yeah, it is what it is. I've had my mama threaten to kill people for her grandkids, and I'm just like, look, lady, you on the breathing machine. You ain't killing nobody, but you damn sure put me in a predicament.
Yeah. But yeah, the actor who plays this character really made the best of her moments, man. It's just rare that you get a character that you know is not going to be around in the series and really leaves you with like I really think I need more of grandma around, but obviously Lil K short-lived here. But we'll get to it. And the other thing, obviously, is me being accountable for my statement of saying Kate had 3 episodes before she would turn back to it. Well, I said 3. I'm very confident on 4 now. So I went to the ATM. I got more money. I got more chips. I'm putting it all on black again. Kate is done after the 4th episode.
You're gonna lose out, man. Kate out this joint buying ice cream. She out this joint attending AA meetings. She out here making retribution to black people. Like Kate is doing all I'm waiting for is Kate to wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. Like that's
I said that. But as much as we give Kate shit, and we love the character, obviously, and as you mentioned, this character is the Nick Fury of the Power Universe. She's everywhere, and every single time her scenes are relevant. She's not just like I know her, like it means something. But this is the first time ever I think we truly can tap into the psychology of Kate. I definitely want to start off here, then we're going to go through the events of the episode.
Yeah, we
joked a lot about Kate and her love for Ghost, her love for Tariq, her love for her black kid, shall we say. And I think that joke, as true as the joke is, it's as true as the gag is, there is substance to it.
Yeah.
Kate told JP that, and while the conversation was extremely difficult, and to me it's also a little cringy at times, but it is true, and I couldn't imagine her ever having to have to make this conversation. And I'm talking about the character here. She has to explain why she had to give her son up, and when the choices of words she kept trying to dance around ultimately landed that because JP was black, it was going to be difficult for her. And at that point, we says, okay, well, that's a decision she's made. But it wasn't really her decision, because her mother was the one saying, you can't live this life. It's not going to be good for you, as she had talked about in AA. And so to come back to Ghost and Tariq, was this her way of trying to make peace in the universe by giving up JP, by doing the unthinkable and the unwanted decision that she wanted, that she had to make due to her mother's advice, due to the societal ramifications? Was this her way trying to make it right in her soul, and also by way of healing with substance? What is your thought about the character Kate and everything that we learned about her and her past this episode?
It feels like that Jamie Ghost became her way to prove her mother wrong. We understand that her and her mom did not have a good relationship after Kate left. Like, that's been talked about. She didn't see her mom. She didn't know much about her mom. Her mom helped raise JP. Like, that was the grandmother he knew. But this was the same mother who told Kate, this is too much for you to deal with. I don't think she meant it as this is too much for anyone else to deal with. That's her knowing her child and saying, you can't do this. This is not the life for you. And it's because he's black. And in all honesty, in that time period, it would have been extremely difficult for her to raise a black man and to raise a black boy and to make him into a black man. Like, those would have been problems that she would have went through. And I think when she had Tommy, he becomes friends with this black kid that she gets to play a role in that black kid's life. I think that was her trying to prove to her mom, like, you were wrong. I could have done it. Like, you can see it when she tells JP, like, that doesn't mean I didn't love you. And she was trying to dance around it because it's a hard topic to talk about, of saying, I was told I couldn't because you were black. And I acknowledge in a way that it would have been harder to raise you because you were black. And it's a conversation that the cringiness is in it, but is authentic when they're talking to one another. Because that's not something you can broach easily and tell somebody, by the way, because you're a different race, because you look different from me, not even race, take it out of race. It could be anything. Because you look different from me, it's gonna be harder for me to raise you. Like, that is a truthful statement. It's bad enough that women have to strive, even if you're the same race, to raise a male. Now add the added dimension of a white woman raising a black man. Like, that has to be extremely hard. And this would have been in the 70s. Yeah, like, that would have been damn near impossible. Well, 80s, 70s, 80s. Had to remember my age for a minute there. 70s and 80s. So it would have been extremely hard for her to do. And I think it's important to have this conversation. It's important that they show this conversation. They show that JP still has feelings about it. Like, he's the one who brings it up. Like, are you saying because I was black, that's why you couldn't do it? Because you did it with Tommy. What made it any different? The only difference is that I'm black and he's not. And we see just how immediately uncomfortable. I love the scene at AA when she brings up that her mom told her this. But she was a 14-year-old kid. I don't know 14-year-old kids that can raise a dog, let alone raise a child, let alone a child of a different race. Like, that has to be difficult. So far, this season of Force is finally giving you a full view of the character of Kate. And as much as we love to say she's the worst mother in Power, she's possibly the only mother in Power that's stuck with these circumstances.
Yeah.
There's not another one who like had a kid when they were 14, had to get that kid up because they were told by their mom, you can raise this kid, turned around, had another kid at 16 with a man who was never in that kid's life because he couldn't be. So she was all on her own, having a struggle like this. We don't get this with Power moms too often here. Like, this is a different type of story, and it's bringing a different amount of sympathy towards Kate's character. So I loved it. I love the conversation. I think it's really focusing us on the point that maybe Kate's not a bad mother. She was just stuck in bad circumstances.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the judgment of a lot of folks in terms of folks that go to jail. You say, were they a bad person, or was it just bad circumstances they was in? You know, and I think she's doing the work, going to AA. And although she may be looking for instant results, it's still a step forward in a way we have not seen Kate thus far. And in fact, everything that she thought she was doing right, which you can't fault her by addressing it with Ghost and Tariq, wasn't immediately ever going to fit. She could have been a good kid to Tommy, and it still would have been the same because JP still always existed. It was always going to be, I can't believe I had to give my son up because society, my mother, even her own confidence said it's not going to happen. And this is just happened to be a perfect alignment of the stars for her to actually have to go head on with it. And also we get context as to why she has her substance abuse, because it ain't because Tommy has it, which is clearly the reason all of us thought. It's like, oh yeah, well, you know, Tommy, it numbed the pain that we never considered. So I do apologize to the character Kate. We've been so harsh for seasons, and I think we are turning a new light to her. And I want everybody in the comments below to let us know, what is your thoughts about the new revelation, the new direction, Kate, that we have not really got to see this side of her before.
The deep correlation of giving up a child and then turn around and having another one is already something that most people would struggle with. Now imagine giving up a son and turning around and having another son, and you thinking that son could be a replacement for the one you gave up, but them to be completely different, and you could never look at them as a replacement. Most parents get away with it because you can look at them and say, you know, they kind of resemble each other, so I can act like this is a replacement. There's no kind of resembling here. So as much as it's hard that she gave up JP, the person who had to deal with the brunt of that would have been the next kid. Because you got to deal with all the guilt. So you're going to have a mom that out the blue is going to, certain things are going to trigger them, and you're not going to know what the hell is going on here because she's still mourning the loss of a child, because giving up a child is equivalent to losing one by death. So she's mourning this loss, and you as a kid is like, what the hell? And then we all know everybody expect their parents to be superheroes. So just imagine if Superman was on crack every day. How would you feel? You'd be like, wait a minute, how's this possible? That's the way Tommy sees Kate. How's this possible? You were supposed to be my everything, my protector, but not understanding that a lot of people don't understand till you get much older. Your parents are just adults who had children. You don't understand that till you become an adult, and you be like, fuck. Like I couldn't handle having a kid in my 30s. how the hell did you have one at 14 or 16 and think that would be okay?
Yeah, very much true. Let's get into the episode. We're starting off with Tommy, who seemed to be snapping because someone tried to take him out, and he has put 1 and 2 together and has not confirmed, but at this point he's very definitive in his thoughts that it had to be treason. And as he said, also somebody got hit. As we know, this little girl was shot and killed. And at this point now, it's just a matter, as he's talking to Diamond, trying to figure out who was it though exactly. And then he also mentioned something that was very funny. I'm gonna tell you something else that we learned in this episode. Another character that we really got very acclimated to is Treason's whole crew entirely. Bad shooters, bad judgment, and a completely idiotic leader. Treason has been exposed on every single level because, as Tommy said, it clearly was somebody who don't know how to shoot. You did mention that last review, and that's the first thing Tommy used as a descriptive to say, all right, so it couldn't have been the Serbs because, they would have got me. It wouldn't have been Walter and them, who we know is tactical. Let's not forget the first episode of last year, and I said they rolled up like they had military training. So it wasn't them. So it had to be treason because whoever was shooting rolled up on me missed it all. But as he said, Diamond says, this is obviously by result of Chewie being smoked, and was this all worth starting a war for? But Diamond says he's gonna go talk to Jenard, and then Tommy says, no, I'll go talk to him. And I'll just go to the next scene is where Tommy, who had no problems getting to Jenard's house, and they get over there. And he says, listen, man, it appears that you don't have control over your people, and a little girl is dead, which is also bad for business. So, listen, you better get who tried to kill me and kill this girl and take him out, or I'll do it myself, and then you'll be next. What is your thoughts about this opening few scenes with Tommy, Diamond, and Jenard? This poor little girl who was killed, all that stuff, man. What is your thoughts about this?
First, I'm never going to get over this gang being named Treason. Out of all the names in the world, all the names you could have picked. Like, Treason doesn't. If I ran into a crew named Treason, one, I'm not scared, and I don't have much confidence in what you could do to me. Like, Treason. First, the conversation between Diamond and Tommy, when Diamond said, and all this happened, and it's a federal task force. Tommy says it's always a task force.
Was this the scene where he said this?
I swear that wasn't.
No, it wasn't, because they haven't announced they haven't announced the task force yet. But and honestly, if I had done my notes better, Tommy and Diamond has like 4 or 5 scenes together talking about everything that's happening in the episode here. But I'm my bad. I jumped again. Yeah, no problem.
I'll go back. The conversation between Jenard and Tommy is hilarious.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Everyone knows where Jenard lives, and clearly, it has to be something in place between Tommy and Diamond that Tommy's not allowed to kill Jenard. Because the point that he just allowed Tommy to go see Jenard, knowing who Tommy is, like, it's wild.
I was not expecting that like that. I thought it was going to be a little bit more pushback.
It was none. He was just like, okay, like, if you got to go, you go see him then. But Tommy hit the nail on the head with Jenard is that you don't have your crew under control.
We knew it.
We the audience knows this already. But from the outside looking in, like, Tommy just knows it because Tommy understands, like, this would have never happened if you did have them under control. So this is a huge issue for Jenard because it makes him look weak. And if we paid attention for this season and a half of 4 so far, the one thing Jenard does not like is to be perceived as weak in front of Tommy. Like, Tommy's his biggest threat to his masculinity and manhood. Yeah. So the point that Tommy,
this is the equivalent of Tariq and Kane.
Yes.
where Monet looks at Tariq as her son. He got it all together.
Diamond.
And Kane's like, man, fuck that Tariq. Like that should be me. I should be running things, And then that the fact that Diamond looks at Tommy in a way of like, I trust him. He's my right-hand man. He comes to meetings side by side with me. And Jenard's like, man, I was running CBI, man. It should be me, man. I can do this, that.
And that's his biggest issue. And that's what made this conversation between him and Tommy so hard for him. Because Tommy pulled his card like, dude, you have no control over your crew. But if you don't fix this, I'll do it. And then I'll kill you next. Jenard fully is in fear. As I said in our live on week 1 with Brandon, and I said, hey, I don't know anything about necessarily Jenard's character necessarily, but Chris needs to give a class on how it is to look scared 24/7 because he looks petrified after what Tommy says to him here, because he knows that Tommy's true. Like, I'm gonna kill you if I got to do this myself. Yeah, and it sends him on the mission, down to even him having a conversation with the chick afterwards. Like, he fully understood, like, I have to do this. I have absolutely no choice as it pertains to the conversation. And this conversation between Diamond and Tommy, it was just a surprise that Diamond went along with Tommy going to see Jenard. I don't necessarily know if that means he does not care about Jenard's life or he just trusts Tommy not to do anything.
Yeah, they need to explore this a little bit more as we do break these episodes down and really try to tap into the psychology of the characters. This is the biggest mystery to me right now, is this unspoken trust that Diamond has for hothead Tommy, unhinged Tommy who is looking for Liliana's killer to a point that I'm sure Diamond's even questioning. Is it that serious? Because I'm a little confused. Also, Diamond is fully aware of Tommy trying to get with Maria. So if you're so grieving over your little old girl there that you loved, or maybe she was just your sister, whatever it may be.
That's what it is. I think it was a sister type thing.
Is a little bit weird too, because Tasha's still around. Who's really a sister?
He had 2 sisters. He had 2 of them.
Levels to this. But
he tried to kill Tasha. Remember, he tried to kill Tasha multiple times.
Yeah.
He still thinks Tasha may have killed ghosts.
Yeah, you're right. There's been people talking that season 3 of this is going to end up concluding into season 3 of Ghost. Listen, right now, I'm not buying any of the timeline stuff until the directors and the writers get out there. Directors, writers, and actors, whenever the time allows for them to get out there and say it. Because let's not forget, you all were the same one trying to figure out the whole Zeke situation.
Yeah.
And none of you all were right. And as we said each and every week, just wait. They're going to tell us. And there's like, how could this be? How could this be? Just wait. And I think right now with the timeline stuff, either it's going to be revealed in this season, or the folks behind the show is going to be able to connect these timelines to us. So anyway, let me stay on track.
What's in the past? You never know.
You never know. And I'm not, again, it is what it is. I just know folks are somebody. I just keep going. I forget it. It was a comment. I was just like, yeah, okay, no, I won't be doing that. Somebody gave me advice on who I need to go check out to get answers, and I'll just
I know. I saw that comment. I said, Hey, my guy does a great job of teasing content that he already knows the answer to. I mean, one of these days we're gonna be able to do that. Okay, to make this even more of a spectacle for you all. If I, no offense to the guy because he does good work for what he does, but if we were fake enough to do it, we would do great content. Y'all know our format. We get on this joke, we watch episode, we don't even talk to each other. There's no pre-pro. We jump on here and just talk about it.
But that's why they fuck with us. That's why they hear each and every week in the comments and the love, because we want our conversations and your conversations to all be intertwined, man. We're not looking to try to be Mr. Know-it-alls or any of that stuff. We're not trying to be the sources of scoops.
Our answer to pre-pro is adding another show.
Yes, to interact with you all more. Exactly.
And talking about it after we think about the episode, like, exactly. Maybe they were talking about it this way. But that's just adding another show for y'all to talk to us about it. Because other than that, nah, we're not doing that. Yep. But again, timelines are timelines. I'm not paying no attention to none of them. I'm just here to enjoy
what it is.
My PO getting a shape up with no shape up. Highly confused.
And folks, if you haven't at this point, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Y'all know these recap reviews drop after the episode air Friday night 1 a.m. and then our live show Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming to our next part of the episode, Diamond with his new friends with benefit, KENDRA the Kopp, who in our first to-be moment of the night, because you already know where I'm going at with this here. But anyway, he's sleeping with his Kopp lady friend again, and he starts to talk about moving drugs. And she's like, oh, so this is why you got me all digmatized here, you know? And he's like, oh, I don't know what it was, you know, I just, you know what, just forget about it, you know? But then she comes back, so, well, what type of weight are we talking about here? And she says, you know what, I'm with it for a price. A big price, as I saw that line coming from a mile away. Here we go. If y'all don't know what it is, then y'all about to know now. Because as I mentioned, our first to-be moment of the night is, do you know how Diamond is moving these drugs in these streets out here with this dick?
You know how I've been paying for this house with this dick. Hey, that's the first thing I thought about. I don't even know the name of that Tubi movie, but when he said that line and then what Diamond does, I'm like, oh, so that's how Diamond is moving drugs.
Oh my god,
we're gonna talk about the prison scene of moving of the inmates getting the drugs, nigga. No, that's not how that works at all. I don't know what we're in, but I went to a couple of them, and that ain't how you could possibly move drugs through microwave popcorn. I just don't understand how you do this. And nah, nigga, you got a handful of drugs in your hand. Like, come on.
I didn't even try. I just let it go. We got a gun balance rally here. We got Jenard and his crew. We got the CBI crew all there. Jenard's looking for Lil K, but we also get an announcement of the new joint task force, which is going to include CPD, FBI, and DEA. It wouldn't be a power show, as Tommy mentioned, if we didn't have a joint task force. So there's that. But at the same time, CBI and Treason, they're just kind of filling each other out. Everybody's looking across and whatnot. Well, now we got JP and D-Mac here, and JP tells D-Mac about his mother, how his mother hid him, and he didn't leave. And with that, you know, it's still rough between the two of them, and you know, they're just trying to figure some way to kind of.
He used that dad word rather quickly, though. Kind of threw me off a little bit.
True. I mean, well. I ain't even about to give that any time today here. But
you've been in my life. I don't think the first thing I'm gonna be calling you is dad.
This is great writing. Because
it'd have been JP. Look at JP.
Yeah.
Oh man. He's quickly went into the family atmosphere. He calling Kate Big Mama. He calling JP dad.
Yeah,
Tommy is Uncle Tommy, like all of that. He just met these niggas 2 weeks ago.
And honestly, I mean, like, you know, he's been through some things, but he's still young. Although D-Mac is pretty tall, you would say like he looks a little bit older. But I mean, like, I think we still got to equate that this is a guy that's super book smart, very good with numbers and math. But while he had his friend who we also saw this episode for the first time, his name is slipping out of my head real quick. He's not really a street dude. And with that being said, he also was just on the streets, you know. That's how he was kind of scouring around, figuring out who his dad was and whatnot. So I could be entirely wrong here, but D-Mac not so different from Tommy. He got family. He's all in for it. He's all the family aspect, nothing else.
Yeah.
He listen, the moment you get Tommy just a little bit of family, he is all in. I mean, don't forget
Tommy's all in also, because clearly he loves JP. He done known this nigga.
Right.
6
And
months.
I mean, and it just makes sense that D-Mac would be the same. Let's not forget that Cash was his
I'm about to say D-Mac looks like Cash. I think that's what it is. More than anything, D-Mac looks like Cash. And I think that is enough for Tommy to be like, son, nephew, son. Like he's just confused about what's going on here. But it was just about D-Mac's relationship with JP. Because even though he still harbors some feelings towards him growing up, and almost it seems like everything possibly his mother told him about the situation, but he still acclimated quickly enough to call someone dad carries a lot of weight. You could say like, oh no, that's like my father, but that ain't my dad. Yeah, that ain't the nigga who raised me. Like father is the title of somebody you give, like, you birthed me, you played a portion in that. But you're not my dad. But like, you're not the nigga who raised me.
The reason why this is different is because this wasn't his dad looking for him. This is D-Mac looking for his dad. So like he had already instilled that this was his dad through his search and through his journey, which we'll talk about this more. Huh?
He tried to kill him in season 1.
No doubt. But again, you know, and I think again that goes still to like the immaturity, the lack of just maturity. I almost say immaturity because you want to think there's a level of ignorance. I'm not going that route. I'm just saying like the lack of maturity that he's still really trying to figure out the world around him. He's very young to the things and the elements that's around him, which is why he did the 2 things he did in this episode, which you think like, oh, that's silly, but it's truly ironing out the profile of what I think this character is to be.
Oh shit, I missed something.
No, because I'm about to talk about it right now. No.
Okay.
So Tommy comes in and warns JP that somebody tried to shoot him, and he says, "Here's a strap." And D-Mac gets up and says, "I want a strap too." This like, no, but we ultimately knew what was going to happen later. That but we'll get there. We get there. Talk about the joint task force again. They're collecting all the evidence, and Tommy is in the bullseye. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you hear the speculation that's in this room about Tommy and his involvement with everything, everyone's completely accurate, which is also one of the first times that's actually been a thing where all the clues are on the table and everybody's landing, but it still isn't the importance of this, because I think we're getting a little bit of a different take on authority here, because now, which Influence would still be such a good show, and I you know what,
you got to give it up. It ain't happening.
I wouldn't be surprised now. Look, we got another added element to it now. But anyway, like I said, they're getting all the facts together, and everyone's just completely speculating, right? Which, as I mentioned, is not normal for them to be right. But Stacy and Lieutenant DIFRANCO, who we know is husband and wife, well, first of all, is pissed because Stacy requested him for the task force.
Yeah.
Also, this is a conflict of interest. I'm definitely surprised that this is even allowed, because typically these things are not allowed on any type of federal scale or anything.
That just sounds so illegal.
It definitely does.
Bring your husband in for the task force.
Yes.
But also, it may not be because he's still a cop on the street, and it seems like he's the best at what he does.
Yes and no. He's a lieutenant, so yes, he definitely by rank is amongst the best. But him being connected to the streets isn't something that I don't think everyone knows, because I think there would have been a little bit more emphasis. As he mentioned, why are you stepping on my toes? If you didn't do this, I can get this done in 5 minutes. This makes me look weak. As we heard last episode from the chick that she tried to request it from, say, why are you doing this? This makes the CPD looks like they can't do their job.
Yep.
Which, yes, as you mentioned in the review last week, this instantly steps on her husband's toes and also jeopardizes his career. So, folks, if you're not following here, I'm just going to put it this way. If you and your coworker can't get a job done and you instantly go tell your supervisor that there's a problem, your supervisor is not going to be happy with you, nor is your supervisor going to be happy with them, which ultimately is going to look bad on you. So just think that Right. And then you said, well, why would anybody jeopardize this? Which I'm glad they put this instantly to bed for speculation, because she is ramping up her campaign to run for mayor. What did you think about this new added flavor of authority in the Power Universe here?
I'm not even gonna say it's new. One, her running for mayor, it was obvious.
Mayor,
she had the mayor, her wanting to run for mayor was obvious. She has the Keisha Bottoms haircut. So the moment I saw the haircut, I was like, okay, she's clearly running for mayor.
Mayor of
Atlanta, for people who don't know. But she has the Keisha Bottoms haircut. So I immediately knew, oh yeah, that's the mayor's haircut. You only get that haircut when you're running for mayor. So I kind of knew that part. Her ambition here is interesting for power, because we don't necessarily see this from the police force. Like, we are accustomed just to seeing the police pursue Ghost, Tommy, Tariq, or anyone to reckless abandonment. But she's doing this not because she actually believes they're a threat, as her husband points out. She's doing this as a political move.
Yep.
Like, her goal is to only advance herself. So she is closer to Tate than any other person that's been part of these task force before. Like, that's her goal, is to advance herself. And she wants to use this task force to do so. As it pertains to it stifling her husband's career, of course. We had to bring in a task force because we don't think you could do your job.
Let me ask you.
He's rightfully pissed about that.
Let me ask you another question, and also to the fans here. What to the audience? What are you all thinking about DiFranco and Stacey Martz as characters thus far? We haven't really gotten a full-rounded profile of these characters, but they're slowly starting to develop, where we know DiFranco's connected on the streets. He can operate on the streets level, much like what's his name from Raising Canaan? What's his name? Omar Epps' character?
Howard,
much like Howard.
Yeah.
And then Martz is a character, as you stated, gives you like Tate characteristics. We're willing to jeopardize anything for the sake of getting in office. But ultimately, as I come back to you with a question, they're married.
That's a whole different dynamic.
What does this do?
I can't wait till later on in the season where we get to see more of these two and how that dynamic works. DiFranco seems to be a cop that knows his job. Like, he knows how the streets move. He was, again, from the first episode when he told the other cop, like, you got to respect street code. Like, that's a lot to say for someone of his race to someone else about people on the street. So he fully understands how the streets move. And then you have his wife that wants to pursue greater political ambition. Like, we haven't seen this dynamic before, because those two will always conflict with one another. Because the guy who's on the street, the guy who's doing the hard work, hates politicians. Because the politician will only make decisions that's best for them. So you got to wonder, with them two being married, how is that dynamic going to work? Again, with Force, I think what they're doing a great job of setting up this season is so many different dynamics with side characters that we haven't seen in the Power Universe before. And this is one that I think could be the most intriguing, because again, you got the streetwise cop versus the politician, and they happen to be a couple, and how everything that happens could conflict with both of their interests here. He just wants to stop the violence on the streets. While stopping the violence on the streets would be cool with her, it's not her end game. Like, I mean, her ambitions go way beyond that, and she needs it to reach beyond that. So just arresting somebody, which would be his goal, won't be enough for her. And when that conflict hits, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing here.
I also think, like, when you think about the casualty of this little girl, there's two different takes from them. Like, you know, you have him who's like sincerely concerned because of this level of violence on the street, and she's like, great, now I'm getting this task force, so let's get it going. Like, it's a weird thing. It's like, sorry to the family, but also thank you. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see how those two elements collide. Going back to Tommy now, and Tommy is making sure that there is eyes set on Jenard to take care of Lil K. So he has his big smurf to do so. They're also talking to or trying to text Maria, about driving.
Oh wow. Yeah. Damn, you done combine Maria and Mariana.
That's how he see it. That's how he see it at this point, probably.
Hey, replace one possibly Puerto Rican for Dominican or vice versa. I'm not sure of their nationalities, but clearly they're not the same.
Yeah, but ultimately, like, at this rate, Tommy's really paranoid. And then Kate enters. And I'm not going to talk about Kate, we did, but I am going to say when Kate entered, I was like, yes, time to collect. I was ready to.
You thought she's about to do drugs. See, look at you. Kate just came over. She just listened to Kurt Franklin's Silver and Gold. And she was like, I need to make amends with my baby. And she went there. Granted, all she had to say was, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which ain't never enough. That ain't never enough.
I was definitely looking at the dealer like, hey, pay me out, bro. Kate about to go ahead and do what she got to do real quick. But anyway, Kate comes in. She wants to make amends. She talks about AA. She also talks about how she wasn't a perfect mother and that she's sorry. But yeah, that didn't go as planned for her. She thought she might get more of a little bit of remorse from Tommy, but Tommy was like, yeah, no, you wrote you had that whole notebook and all you said was, I'm sorry. But hey, we'll talk about it a little bit later. At the barbershop, we get Diamond giving his PO a cut. But also yeah, true. But the PO's there peeping things where PO ends up seeing Little Smurf comes out. But everything is okay because people at the barbershop all know what it is. Yeah, OG. That's exactly right. OG
knew how to frame that shit, Joe, quickly.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Walter and Vic, they're preparing for a meeting, and this meeting is with Michael, which we'll talk about in a second. But they start to talk about what had happened with Claudia. Help me to understand this here, because I had a little bit of issue making sense of if I think I understand correctly. We're gonna have
the same issue. Okay.
Was Walter pissed at Claudia for using money for Walter's treatment? Is that what I get from this? Or was he just saying?
Sounded like.
That's what it sounded like. I'm not totally sure here.
But he said, did he say dialysis?
Yes.
But he had cancer.
Or something.
His kidneys are failing too.
It's gone at this point. I mean, it could have been. Who knows?
What the hell did Magic Walter have? Like, I need to know here. Do you have cancer? Or do you have kidney failure? Or is your cancer because of kidney failure? I need to know here, because he damn sure said dialysis. And he was mad because he said all our money is tied up in it.
Yeah.
How successful is your drug business that you can't afford a couple of dialysis treatments?
Hey, listen. The real criminals of this entire show is Big Pharma.
Literally. They out this joint charging $100,000 for that. I need to look up how much dialysis costs without insurance. Because clearly Walter has no insurance. You thought he would have Medicaid or something because he's old, but Walter has no insurance. Yeah. Dublin is not giving. Dublin don't pay a 401k or medical insurance.
And they don't fuck with black people, so he wasn't getting that Obamacare. It's
no, not that nigga care. You ain't getting that one, buddy. But again, he definitely said dialysis, and it seemed like he's definitely mad that Claudia tied up his money in saving his life.
Yeah. And get in the comments, and the folks get in the comments to let us know what did you make of this scene, and why some way somehow Walter found a way to be pissed at Claudia, who could have potentially saved his life and ultimately resolved the whole issue of what happened to Walter's prognosis from last season. What happened to him?
But then when Vic says you can't be mad at her because of what happened with Dahlia, was she using Dahlia to pay for his dialysis treatments? I'm confused here because I was confused why he was so mad, but he made it known like it's about tying up money. And then he said dialysis. So I'm like, okay, Walter's on dialysis and Claudia tied up his finances, but then Vic says you can't be mad at her because of everything that happened with Dahlia. So was she using her Dahlia resident or residuals to pay for Walter's dialysis treatments? I'm confused here. I'm even confused on how big time drug organization is hurt by dialysis treatments.
Big pharma, bro. Big pharma. Hey, by the way, did you get your publishing rights back from Bad Boy?
Oh, because of Puff, he giving all them jokes back to everybody. Yeah. Puff lying like shit, Joe. He got an album to drop. He giving them jokes back. That's publicity. That's publicity. Nigga, as much as I wrote on Last Train to Paris, where are my rights, Puff?
Oh my goodness. The only thing that really making this is that Vic does think that Tommy is who leaked Dahlia recipe on the internet. So there's that. Let's see what else we got going on here to the next thing. So Jenard is out here looking for Lil K. And with this though, Shanti tells Jenard not to go looking for Lil K, or he'll have a so Shanti, his girlfriend, basically told him do not go looking for Lil K, or the repercussions what would happen within the game here. Now Jenard is just really in the situation of like, how does he get people back under wraps here? Did she give him the best advice to not go look for him, or was it in his best interest to go look for him?
No, well, those are two different questions. Was it in his best interest to go look for him? Yes, because Tommy will murder Jenard and not care about it. Was it the right thing for his business? Absolutely not. She gave him the perfect advice there. If you go looking for him and you try to do something for him because of what he did, it's going to be a mutiny, because it feels like you're siding with the white boy who killed Chewie. No, you can't do that in your organization. It's as much as I said that I felt what Tommy did was the right move, because from his perspective, him and Diamond's perspective, Chewie had to die for the disrespect. It's the same thing for Jenard. From his perspective, he can't go out here looking for him because it's not good for his business. Who the fuck is going to trust you? If you go out there to discipline or kill one of your soldiers because they shot at somebody who killed one of your other soldiers, it makes you look weak. Jenard, in all honesty, had to take that Tommy threat on the chin. He needed to step up to Tommy and say, if you're going to try to kill me, try it. All guns blazing. We're going to see how this land. Granted, he could be scared shitless and understand fully that if Tommy comes, and most likely Tommy going to kill him. But from a business perspective, he still got to fake it till he make it. Like, you got to fake like you can defend yourself, because to your crew and your organization, you have no other option. She's 1,000% right when she spit that message to Jenard.
Folks, get in the comments, let us know, was Shanti right here by telling Jenard to do not go look for him, or was Jenard right by going to do so? Moving to the next thing here, we have the meet between Vic, Walter, and Michael. This is obviously about how they're going to handle the pills here. So there's that. Nothing to really talk about much besides the fact that there was a monkey comment made, and Vic was not rocking with it.
That's why I said Michael Mena. When Michael Mena said monkey, I said, "Oh shit, Mona Sky about to fire him too." Like, you can't get a monkey comment off now, Joe. Vic, clearly this is about Gloria that Vic is offended.
1,000%.
Then Michael said something about monkeys. Which is fucked up. Like that's your comment.
When and it's true. I mean, Vic is very inclusive, and he is obviously,
Vic got a Black Lives Matter shirt or a little poster up in his window or something.
He's an ally, and and the fact that his father laughed at the monkey comment, he's like, So, it just only fueled the fire. Also, Vic hasn't drunk at all this episode. What happened? He's sober that quick?
that Branson hit his system. He was like, nigga, I'm gonna be drunk for a minute. That Branson ain't no joke, shawty. Like Vic has the Black Lives Matter shirt while Walter has the Black Lives Don't Matter shirt.
No, all lives matter. All lives matter.
No, Walter don't believe all lives matter because he don't believe Mexicans, Asians. Walter don't like anybody, but whomever Walter, that's who Dublin matters. That's Walter.
Yeah.
But what I found so interesting here about them trying to move these very poisonous pills, no one is bringing up the point that I understand in the Black community, especially youngsters here, they do pills. White housewives is literally your target demographic for pills. It ain't Black people. Like, why are we not bringing that up here? Like, that's your target demographic there.
They don't know what they're doing.
White,
that's the thing.
Soccer moms. If I'm moving pills, that's who I'm going to. Every suburb in the United States, I'm going to. I'm not dealing with Black people because Black people gonna have too many questions and they gonna want deals. I ain't got time to deal with all that. White mothers who drop their kids off to school will buy them pills in bulk and not care. Like we know the target audience here, and I'm assuming they're not bringing it up because of the racism involved in their deal here, and that's why Vic does what he does later on in this episode. But come on, man, pills and not white women. Come on, Joe. Come on.
Yeah,
pills and white women go together like white women and Black penis.
Come on. And even to your point, I mean, it just shows you that this is not their forte. So like they're in uncharted territories and they're trying to figure it out, and they assume because CBI is moving the most product that if they're moving the most product, they clearly must be selling to their folks, which means that we might as well sell to their folks because that's what make us money. But
it's a bunch of Black people that are not comfortable doing pills but are extremely comfortable doing other things.
To ask Jenard at the end of this episode.
That's a whole nother issue we're gonna talk about. As much as it's white women who are accustomed to doing pills but not other drugs. So I'm just confused here.
Let me get through a bunch of this stuff now. We got Miguel doing what he does, torturing folks, where two of his crew members get the Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero finish by putting their hand in the oxygen tank and completely breaking it off.
Did you say oxygen tank?
Yeah. Or hydrogen tape. I'm sorry. It's a hydrogen tape. Yeah. Because hydrogen makes the oxygen. So yes. But they do call them oxygen tanks, but that wasn't the traditional oxygen tank.
There you go.
Yeah. So Miguel obviously blames his own crew for the stolen drugs. Tommy and Diamond are there to witness it, and this is just obviously a moment of I'm about to say interrogation, intimidation.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's definitely Fast and Furious. It's all
the rat bucket in Fast and Furious 4.
Exactly.
When they put the rat bucket on dude and burn the rat bucket for torture. Same thing. Same thing.
And they blame the serfs for this here. But he did look at Tommy and says, "What are you waiting for, dumbass?" And that's that. And as Tommy said, what are we doing here? But he said, "This is what happens to anybody betray me." The only thing I'm just going to quickly add here is that Miguel is operating like he's the boss. I think Miguel is operating in fear. It has nothing to do with the folks around him. It has everything to do with the folks above him, as he wants no one to know that he's under any bit of stress or any bit of whatever above him. So he had to make a statement. This is why, Lucas, this is why you're right about the statement about having to handle it before it gets under control. This is without a doubt. This is without a doubt the reason.
That's all it's about.
Y'all can debate with your mother, but this is exactly why, right? That you have to do what you got to do. And if y'all were very interested in how this would have went different, as y'all would have been, because I would think seeing the cartel in the way that we've seen the cartel across all different other shows, there would have been a lot of bodies down, besides the two folks that got their arms chopped off there or cut off there. So good job on Miguel for doing what he needed to do.
I'm confused why the guy screamed and passed out. Because
that always happens.
But no. By the time your hand went in that tank, I know the way chemistry or chemistry works, because it's chemistry. Once his hand went in that tank, he didn't feel that hand anymore. Yeah. So what were you screaming for when it got chopped off, and what made you pass out? Nigga, you didn't feel a thing.
The visual.
It was
the
over
visual.
at that point.
It's the I screamed when I watched.
Who's looking?
Me.
Close your eyes, nigga. Because you're not gonna feel it anymore. You can't feel it. You felt it go in, but the moment it hit that liquid, you didn't feel anything else. So the moment it came out, I'm closing my eyes, nigga. Cut it off, because you're not affecting me. I'm not gonna cry for you. Close your eyes, my brother.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
So Diamond and Tommy, who doesn't seem like they're on the same page, but it's okay, whatever. Because after that, they decide, do we need to slow our roll or speed it up? And they trying to figure out, is Miguel on them or not? As Tommy mentioned here about, well, Diamond says, well, I heard the feds got task force. As Tommy then mentions that there's always a task force. But then he says he's going to meet with Walter for Liliana, and Tommy got a truck and he rolls out. Diamond's Fed girl, who we see doing what she does again in here, KENDRA Briggs, I think that's her whole name, is just setting up the whole thing with Rojas in the prison to get him to jail, the whole popcorn thing. Now, this Rojas person, y'all probably like, who is this? Now, as much as we have said now in 3 reviews and in our live specials that they seem to have wiped their hands with season 1, this Rojas guy is exactly the person I've been talking about all last season, to the point that I said I probably sound stupid. Who was those folks in the beginning when Diamond got out of jail that said, yeah, we're gonna let him get comfortable and then we're gonna make that call? It's like, who are they talking about? I had no clue that this guy was connected with the Serbs. I did not see that at all. But anywho, we're starting to see long-term storytelling, as we like to say in pro wrestling, really come to fold here. But nonetheless, we do see KENDRA trying to do her thing, trying to get everything situated, trying to get Rojas to also sell the drugs that's in there, selling the heroin in
Is it heroin?
It is.
I know Jenard asked for heroin.
Yeah,
but are they? What the fuck?
Yep.
Wait, no, they moving coke. They gotta be moving coke. Don't you dare tell me niggas is moving heroin like this in prison.
Yes,
for real, for real. Heroin, like heroin.
Yeah, man, and those little popcorn bags, shit, crazy, yeah, man. We'll keep going on here.
Oh, crap.
Who
the fuck is moving heroin in prison?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Wild time.
Shout out to Tyler Perry, who clearly shot that scene of prison with the popcorn passing on. Full power. That's not a power scene. That was straight Tyler Perry, sisters, brothers, or one of them shows that he do. That was straight one of those scenes there.
We get Walter and Tommy now, and Tommy wants to know, why won't you give up your soldiers? But the way how Walter responds makes it seem like it's one of his own. Tommy instantly picks up on it. Paulie's there to intervene, giving a little bit of a bite there that made Tommy says, "Man, makes me miss my city, New York." But this Chicago thing is wild. I love this scene out here. It's why not just overly love this scene here. This was a good scene. Wasn't much to make out of it besides Tommy and Walter meeting and Tommy trying to get Walter to give up some clues. Meanwhile, Claudia goes home and her apartment has been ransacked and her safe is empty, only to find out immediately after that Walter did it as he admitted it. So there is that. KENDRA, going back to KENDRA, seeing the drugs move inside inside prison. And Rojas is like, man, what the fuck is happening? As we find out that CBI has things pretty much on lock because they can't get their drugs in there. But he's obviously telling the same 3 folks that we saw in the first episode of season 1 that we got to figure this out. Like, we can't let this rock like this, essentially. So, paraphrasing to say. But Walter and Claudia, because Claudia shows up and Walter says, you don't fuck with daddy money here. Broke into Claudia's house, took all her valuables and stuff. By the way, Claudia was looking real bomb this episode. I was definitely feeling those shades too. I was like, yeah, she was giving up the white girl with no ass sexy look. It's very difficult to pull off because ain't no ass there. But like Claudia pulled it off this episode. Why everybody always talk about her ass? Everybody always. It's no ass there. It's nothing. It's nothing there to talk about. It's nonsense. Yeah, I don't know
Claudia
if I
need
recall.
a BBL. We need to get Claudia a BBL.
I don't know. Claudia definitely taps into that Stars contract over and over and over. I don't think I ever recall being like, I don't think she has a butt. I don't think that's ever been
because Claudia comes across as a dom. Like she is not getting fucked. She's fucking everyone else, including nigga who she fucked, who she might as well put his legs in the air when she fucked him.
I'm not getting that energy from her. And also, what's her name?
She never said it in what, episode 1 when they did it, and she was like, and he was like, "Was it pleasurable for you?" She said, "Oh, you didn't do anything."
Well, I mean, but again, I told you, and also Lily Simmons is the actor who plays Claudia. Fantastic, by the way.
Awesome.
I told you that it was never anything sexual for her there. It was all business, all business. And but so
we've not had sex for pleasure.
Yes, yeah. I think her and my
Asian girl.
I think
it was about Dahlia.
For sure, but I also felt like that was a little bit of pleasure at a point until she snapped back and realized like this was her way. And ultimately, I could just be wrong because the only thing that's definitively what Claudia's plan is getting on daddy's good side by any means. So whether it's trying to figure out the target that's on his head coming from Devlin, or trying to make money to prove that she can run an organization behind his back in season 1. That's her whole motivation. She will sleep, she will betray, she will kill anybody that comes her way. Daddy. Yeah, anything.
Including paying for his dialysis treatments, which I knew nothing about. We're still stuck about her paying for his dialysis treatments.
But Walter does say something that's very interesting here, and he says, "Listen, fuck with me one more time, and I'll blow your security." Made it very clear. He did try to make it seem like he was actually like talking that talk to Tommy, which wasn't what happened. But he did make it very clear that Claudia, like, fuck all that Tommy stuff. You come at me wrong, I'm blowing your cover, which is interesting because that's the first time I think I've seen Claudia look completely compromised. Like, oh shit, you know.
It goes back to literally the conversation I had about Kate, Tommy, and JP. Your parents are looked at as your superhero, your ultimate protector. Here, her ultimate protector is telling her, fuck with me again, and I'll make sure I take away anything that can save you.
Yeah. All right, let me go through a bunch of this other stuff real quick, too. Now, DiFranco goes to Little K house and ends up his grandma's house, who... is there definitely keeping him hidden, but also holding it down. We already talked about that in the beginning of the episode.
Garden in the hood, shawty. Only grandmothers get that.
Yep.
A full ass garden in the hood, shawty.
Yeah. Big G mom on the block. You know you don't mess with her garden. You already know what time it is. You come through there.
All hood grandmothers grow tomatoes. I don't know who the fuck is eating all of these tomatoes.
Tomatoes and peppers, for sure.
All bell hood peppers. Grandmothers, tomatoes and Black people's love for bell peppers will never cease to exist, y'all.
And listen, Cierra from the South, so I wouldn't be surprised. She was like, get grandma some mustardines in there too. Like that, they don't go there in Chicago, baby. They don't go there in Chicago. That's top down in Alabama.
Grandma was probably out that joint growing some okra and everything.
Which is funny because once it's cold in Chicago, all that's a wrap. You probably get one month of good crops in Chicago.
You got 3 months to grow in Chicago. And that shit is done. I don't know how she had a whole garden there that wasn't frozen over by now.
Power logic. So Kate and JP, we talked about this, but Kate makes a cake for D-Mac. Kate wants to make amends. This is JP asking, why'd you leave me? And this is all of the things that we talked about it being complicated and the race issue. Jenard rolls up a little K. He said, I told you put a pulse in that Tommy shit. Grandma was there. As grandma, we know, pulls up as we mentioned, said, do you want some cookies? And listen, if you're going to kill him, you better be ready to shoot grandma too. And because it won't be hard to identify you out of a line out with that cauliflower ear, which I know y'all love that because y'all love talking about that cauliflower ear. But anyway, this was Jenard's way of being able to put little K back under his thumb because he said when I tell you to jump, you better ask how high and all that other good stuff. So we have Tommy and Diamond. And this is just Tommy's telling basically, I'm about to go see Claudia to figure out what's going on. Did you kill Liliana? So
Liliana,
yeah. Jenard, where we at now? Oh, so Jenard also knows that Big Smurf is keeping an eye on him for Tommy as well too. So anyway, Tommy and Diamond also finds out that Rojas is aware that they're trying to take over the business in jail. What else? Oh, KAAA, we already talked about that as well too. Vic is Vic at this point. Vic calls in a police report of a dealer trying to sell bad pills.
Set up Michael's dealer.
For Walter. What else we have here? So Tommy now confronts Claudia about killing Liliana, which she denies. But this was a standoff that I was a little bit intense, man. Claudia, she stands strong in these moments, man. But Tommy's not one to fuck with here.
Yeah, Tommy clearly knew she was lying. Yeah, and let her know, I know you're lying.
Yeah,
I clearly see that you did it. And when I confirm it, because Diamond asked him to confirm before he did anything, which again is another sign of respect that Tommy has for Diamond. Because Diamond said you can't do it without confirming, and Tommy lets Claudia know here, the moment I confirm it was you.
Yeah,
you're dead.
Yep. So Diamond's lawyer friend Jenny Sue goes to Rojas to make him a deal to join CBI to sell their heroin. And Rojas says, I'll never fuck with CBI. Just
you put me in a wheelchair, nigga. Why would I fuck with you?
Yeah.
But can I ask a bigger question here?
Yes.
Not to sound or involve race. When the fuck did Diamond and Jenny Sue become friends? Like, at what point would those two mingle together for Diamond to... Was she working out a carry out and Diamond played her way through college or something?
Next part. Next part.
Because it don't make sense. I need to make it sense. And I only say carry out because that's what most Asian folks be in black neighborhoods, where he would develop that relationship with her.
And listen, just a corner store, okay? That's it. Just a corner store. Just a corner store, period. Or she could have at some point tried to represent Diamond. And ultimately,
no, he said he put her on. He said he put her on.
Yeah. So good corner store stuff. We'll just leave it at that. This little kid Leon, who was also at the Stop the Violence campaign earlier, comes and sees Diamond. So he's a little kid for the neighborhood. And the moment he leaves from Diamond, Leon gets bullied, and Diamond rolls up on him, and rolls up on the kids, and wants to know what the fuck that was, but also got him a path forward because he's going to help him by teaching him how to box. There's that.
Clearly, we saw this coming a mile away.
Absolutely.
Diamond turning into Coach Carter.
Yep.
All he needed was Faith Hopeful to play them. No, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am. That's all you needed. That's all you needed in the background, Joe.
We got a little bit
out of box because Diamond don't know how to box, so it's got to be Jenard teaching him how to.
Nah. Don't forget that Diamond beat Jenard last season.
Yeah, but Diamond don't own the gym. Jenard owns the gym and his little side piece.
Yeah.
Where Leon going? He gonna box
down in the dungeon, man. Down in the dungeon. That's it. That's right.
Where they move crack.
Yeah.
It's his rally.
Yeah.
He was rallying.
Hey, listen. Don't act like you didn't go to an elementary school that had a gym, a cafeteria, and a music room all in the same place.
I did not go to an elementary school like that, sir. I went to H.D. Cook Elementary in Washington, D.C. Well, granted, it was hood as a motherfucker, but we damn sure had a gym, a cafeteria, and a music room, and they were all separate. Okay?
Let me get through these last things here.
Major giving up his Forestville education.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What we got now? So DiFranco tells Little K that he can help him. Oh, because he rolls up to him and he tells like he can help him. He could either help him and the police or be on his own. Grandma intervenes and shuts that down because Grandma is on the job here. KENDRA now threatens Rojas to work for Diamond or she'll increase his sentence as well, which is
that threat was serious work.
Yes, it was.
When she found his drugs in his chair and let him know, one, I think the biggest threat was moving him away from the prison he was in and moving him into a max federal prison. Which he said the least of your words is gonna be being in a wheelchair, because they're gonna fuck you up, because they're not gonna care that you're in a wheelchair. So it almost left him with no other option but to go with them. I did love this scene. Because I love the way she set him up for Diamond.
So the Serbs out here playing their best version of Grand Theft Auto as they go ahead and I'm sorry. That was actually the lesser of my analogy here. The Serbs are doing their best impressions of what happened to Cameron in DC. Don't you be pulling up in a Lambo without checking in.
Hey, I'm not gonna speak on that, but this is not how Cameron was set up. That's fucking hilarious that you said that. But no, look, situational awareness. I'm gonna need Jenard to have it. Nigga, it's cars behind you, and them niggas part, and you don't speed up. Are you crazy? My brother. The moment if it's a group of cars behind me and I see that split happen, which automatically tells me like they about to do they Beyonce shit and get in formation, I need to speed up because I need to get past that first car. Because other than that, I am completely fucked. And this is Jenard not paying attention to his surroundings. Again, it's a reason why he can't be a leader. Because he's not paying attention to things he should be.
And hold that thought for a second really quick too about him paying attention to his awareness. So Tommy kills Claudia's bodyguard as well too. Very simply put. Lil K picks up Jenard. Lil Jenard's getting high on his own supply. Asks him as he starts to ask him what happened. I honestly, Lil K was asking very normal questions that you should not normally ask, because you're not in a position to ask. You already are beneath him, which is when he said, when you call, you answer. When you jump, he said, how high? He asked him, was he on the wire? Jenard snaps. He also tries to shoot Jenard, but Jenard chokes him out and dumps the body. So with this all happening, just to go back, Jenard tells Lil K he knows he spoke to DIFRANCO and strangles him to death, and Tommy sees everything. Is the interesting part to this here. Did Jenard know this?
No.
Okay.
He decided there that Tommy was present. Jenard only did these actions because he was high. It literally makes no sense, because unless in the Power universe, fingerprints and DNA doesn't exist, this killing makes absolutely no sense. Your prints are all over everything this man has on while you're killing him. And you overreacted to him asking a logical question when he said, man, some got to be wrong, because you're the main one who preached never get high on your own supply, which is one of the 10 crack commandments, which is a very important commandment. And then this Benny the Butcher, he gave you the 11 through 20 afterwards. But this is definitely something you shouldn't do, and this is part of the reason why you shouldn't do it. Is because it leads you to be reckless. And this is Jenard. This is Jenard turning into Kate. And I know some of y'all out there not picking up on it, but Kate literally told you she took drugs to numb everything around her. Jenard is doing the exact same thing. He's taking these drugs to numb himself from everything that's going on with his life here. And little K was 1,000% correct to question, why are you doing your own drugs? Like, dude, that's a slope you can't get away from, because normally when people do drugs, they're not in a business, and the reason they're not in a business, hopefully, is because your drugs aren't readily available to you.
Liability.
But if you're moving the product, it's clearly always there for you to get. You can just take a little bit as you see fit. So it just shows just how reckless Jenard is being, which leads him to commit this murder, not dust off any fingerprints, not get rid of the body. He put the body in a place where anyone can find it. But if they find it, they're gonna find everything about you would be on his body, including your fingerprints.
It's nuts. you took the question out of my mouth, but I'll get there. Two scenes were there. We're almost done. Tommy goes home, sees Kate on the couch, which I was worried, but okay. Kate was okay, breathing, fell asleep, reading a book.
Kate on drugs, Joe.
I definitely was.
She read the Bible, my brother, not a book. The holy word. Kate has completely changed. I'm telling you, she was listening to Marvin Sapp, never would have made it, and she fell asleep on the couch. That's all that was.
Yeah. But he got him his ice cream, his favorite, and he gets a test that we're good, let's roll for Diamond. But Tommy says thank you for the ice cream and so on. Vic, Michael, and Walter all connect, and this is where Vic kills Michael when he and Walter go to get their money back for the bad pills. Walter didn't like it. Now the question is, and I'm just going to throw this to the audience, was Vic right in killing Michael, or was Walter right in saying, do you not understand the ramifications of what you did? He sounds like he might have been disappointed, but he also might have seemed like he was proud because Vic actually did a damn thing. So
no, I don't think he was. Oh, can I answer this one? Even though I know you said the audience.
Yeah, go get it.
Yeah. Vic didn't do this to make Walter proud. Vic did this to bring Walter's organization down.
Okay. Hold on.
Right.
No. You're entirely right there. I'm saying by Walter's perception, did Vic make him proud by doing that?
No, it was a stupid decision. You don't kill him until we know where the money is.
Yeah.
My nigga, like, it's great that you killed him, but get where the money is first.
Walter
but
is
here
very...
he killed him and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he's just very different to Vic. He's like, I'm gonna let you finish, but it's like, I don't even feel like he's truly mad. He's kind of like, why would you do that? We'll clean it up. If it had been Claudia, very different conversation here.
But remember though, he don't like women. Like that's a completely different scenario that you threw out there. But with Vic, he said it when Vic said his disrespect was worth the money. We understand already that Walter's not in a financial situation where he can just throw away money for free right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Walter's pissed that Vic did that without knowing where the money was at, so they can at least get the money back first.
Yeah. Yeah, folks, get in the comments. Let you know, did Vic pull a good move, or was Walter right by the move was not at all the right decision? Last three things here: D-Mac and JP. They seem to get on good terms, but only to find out D-Mac was really just being dismissive so that JP can get out of his face, so that he can go get the gun and tuck it. And for whatever reason, there was no reason for him to have that gun. Only for it to have,
Little Jaden Smith be wilding, Joe. It's literally no need.
It's only gonna be something negative and result of this later on. So we'll just wait and see. Diamond and Tommy, they go back to Miguel's. They call for another meeting. Miguel's like, you're very bold for calling another meeting, but they asked for another re-up. Want to know how they're moving products so fast. Said they got the prison on lock, even though the Serbs do. Miguel's a little bit hesitant, but Tommy says, listen, let's get a bulk discount. And well, Miguel says he'll think about it. So at this point, Miguel's just going to be paying close attention about what they're doing. This is a little out of the ordinary here, and it's all because there's white boys in town now. Is what he's thinking.
Here's a bigger question for you and the audience: do you believe Miguel didn't give them a product because he's worried of their actions, or because he doesn't have it to give? Because that was clearly given to me. I don't have it to give to you, and that's why. Clearly, remember. They hit Miguel, so they know the stash they took from Miguel. But Miguel has not let it be known to them that he does not have that stash.
You're right.
So this is a very slick move by them, because it makes it look like I'm your partner. Yeah. Because if I don't come to you for a re-up, you're gonna know I got the drugs.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to you for a bigger re-up.
Yeah. Also, Diamond for the rescue. Because Tommy was definitely about to be on Gilligan's Island with that question. So how did you sell it? How did you get prison locked?
How you moving this way? Yep.
It's about to get crazy quick there. But anyway, Lil K's dead. DIFRANCO found him, as you mentioned. And folks, y'all can let us know in the comments what will be the effect, the cause and effect here of Jenard's very terribly handling of Lil K's death and dumping of the body.
He ain't burned the body or nothing.
Just nothing right there.
Nothing.
Just right there.
Jeez Louise.
Tommy with a little humor in the text messages asks Maria to teach him to drive. She gives him the air just. Looks like that's going to go down. And last but not least, we get Jenard stopping on Heroin Highway to buy some heroin for himself.
Nigga.
Because
nigga. I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit for y'all right here. So as we're watching the episode, and the guy asks him what he wants, and Jenard says H. And Jenard says heroin. I said, nah, he didn't say that. I said, hey, rewind that because I made sure he said it. And then I went back. And the reason I question it, because anyone who's taken heroin before out there, one, I'm sorry if I'm being like just horrible to people, but you don't normally sniff heroin. You shoot heroin, and it's the reason why you do that. Because normally sniffing it is extremely strong and way too strong for most people. So you need to shoot it in your veins. That way it is more comfortable as you take the drug. So it threw me off when I saw Jenard sniff heroin. My nigga, that ain't the one. Jenard's never tried heroin, I don't think. I think this is because when they asked him what he want, he was very hesitant before he said heroin. Like, he was upping it up. Basically, cocaine was a gateway drug for him. And then he went to heroin. There's no rebounding. That first high that you get from heroin, that's why you get hooked. That first high from heroin is something you've never experienced in your life. And that's what hooks things, and that's how you are able to constantly push it, because they'll never get that high again. But the point that Jenard is this heavy into drugs, how can you be a leader of anything and you're addicted? Because he's addicted now. There's you don't recreationally, you can take cocaine, because cocaine is not, you can control that. You can even do now crack, because it's not 80s crack. But you're not doing heroin that way. You take heroin, that's you. Ain't shit else. You ain't doing weed. You ain't going back to coke. You ain't doing shit else. Once you take heroin, you are always taking heroin. So it's a very interesting dynamic to see what happens with Jenard next. After he's gone on the heroin highway. James Brown made a whole song about it called King Heroin. Check it out if you haven't heard it before.
Well, I'll leave it at that, folks. You all can let us know your thoughts about episode 3, War and Ice Cream of Power Book 4 Force. Of course, we're back with our live show Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And obviously, we're back with our recap review show next week for episode 4, The Devil's in the Detail. As I said, let us know your thoughts about tonight's episode.
Used so many times in Power, so that's going to be interesting. That is a title we've seen in Power before, and it was a hell of an episode last time we saw it. So, man.
Let us know your thoughts about tonight's episode and predictions about next week's episode 4. Where will we go next on that note? But until then, folks, thank y'all so much for tuning in for this one. We'll catch y'all back in just a few days. See y'all later.